What a day it is for Adam Cain on the PGA Tour. Today we have a very special episode in the series as Adam plays the final event on the schedule. We have the Tour Championship at East Lake Golf Club. We are planning to do a 4-round event today, the first time that we've done that throughout this entire series. And it's going to be the final playoff round, Adam with the chance to take home the FedEx Cup. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a fun series, a fun experiment, and I really didn't think I'd get through an entire season playing like this. We've played many events, a lot of episodes, and today is going to be the final one of the series with Adam. I don't know if we'll revisit this at some point in the future, maybe with some one-off content or streaming, but this will be the last event for Adam, at least for now, and hopefully he can go out a winner. He's had a much better rookie season than his rookie season in the NFL. We all know that well enough. So, welcome everybody to the stream. We'll have 4 rounds of golf as long as Adam makes the cut. We have a 30-player field size, so that's the one thing that I think will be unique is, you know, that cut is going to be tough. We have only the 30 best remaining. And I have no idea what that's going to look like in terms of scoring. Now, I think that before we get into the play today, I should probably recalibrate my swing. They have done a... there was a patch recently. And I think I should probably just calibrate my swing to make sure we're good to go going into today's event. What's going on, everybody? Good to see the stream filling up here. Hope y'all are doing well. Had a pretty good Saturday so far. This is the legendary first-round quarterback, now known for playing golf more so. So I just want to get that swing dialed in. Adam, I believe, won 5 events this year. He's made, what do the thumbnails say, like $13 million? Not bad. Especially when he has a guaranteed first-round contract already under his belt in the NFL. I'm not planning to do a second season right now. I am really trying to prepare for MLB that comes out in less than a month's time. That's going to be coming to the second channel. I am still doing Vikings franchise, and we'll see how much longer that goes, but I think we've reached a very interesting point in that series. And I want to have time to do some other videos and rebuild stuff, and I just can't do everything. This was already about as much as I wanted to do with this series, and unfortunately I can't just do everything. I've really tried to make an effort to not spread myself too thin so the stuff I do can at least be done well. Am I surprised that Dantzler was released? You know, not all that much, because like the same day he was cut, I was thinking earlier in the day that he was not at all a fit for the defense they're going to be running this year. With Brian Flores, it should be a lot more man coverage, and a lot of stress is put on the corners, and you want, you know, guys that can mirror, guys that can handle two-way breaks, and you need really good athletes, I think, for a scheme like that. And to me, Dantzler, I still think he can be pretty good, and I'm a little surprised they couldn't get a late-round pick for him, but I'm sure they tried. I mean, the Vikings are trying to get assets for this year, and they haven't yet traded anybody, and I'm imagining if they could have gotten a 7, they would have taken it. I will be doing a series on this channel with MLB The Show 23. Yes, I am doing a franchise this year. A new series, a new kind of series, because I haven't really done an MLB The Show franchise over here outside of the Rule 5 rebuild. So, I don't know yet exactly what it's going to look like, but I'm excited for it. All right. Adam Cain secures a spot in the Tour Championship. All entrants will have their starting strokes adjusted based on their FedEx points ranking. It's going to be tough, Cain said. I'm just going to go out and play the best golf I can. So, Adam gets a head start. He starts 10 under. Jon Rahm in second. Or actually, Tiger Woods is only 8 back. Now, how come Tiger starts with an 8 under and Rahm a 7 under when Rahm has more FedEx Cup points? Is it more than just your standings? And like Harold Varner just starts out even when he's got a lot of points. Does it have to do with wins? Music sound a bit loud. If it is, I can knock it down. I was messing with some stuff lately, so it wouldn't shock me if it is on the loud side. Hoping you pick a smaller budget team for the MLB series. Feel like that will be more of a challenge. Certainly is, you know, when you can't be as active in free agency, and it's something I'm going to take a look at. There are a couple teams already, and one of the teams I'm considering is and has been willing to spend money. But I want to do a team, of course, where I can leave my mark on it with drafting and stuff, but it is MLB. I mean, if I draft a guy, you know you're not going to see him for really at best 2 years ago, 2 years from then. All right. Let's cut the music. Let's have a great day of golf. Here we go. Ian, I appreciate the super chat. Cain, thoughts on the Bears trade last night? It's further down than I expected the Bears to be willing to move, because now they can't get Will Anderson. They wouldn't get, there'll probably be 3 defensive players and 4 quarterbacks off the board by the time they get to select. So it's a good move if they want to focus on the offensive line or if they have other plans in mind. But I really thought that they would not want to drop further down than, say, 4 to ensure they could get Will Anderson. All right, I got to get a couple warm-up swings in here and just make sure the calibration is to my liking, and it's a good sign when we're already there. I need to move my camera above the deal here. Maybe shrink it a little bit so it looks nice on screen. Beautiful, right? But I think the difference there, why Chicago was so willing to move down, is because they get a wide receiver 1 out of it. And I think that's a worthwhile trade to make sure you can support your quarterback with a player like DJ Moore. And I really like him. I think that although their offense is still kind of at a basic level, they just didn't have the talent along the line or at receiver last year. I feel like DJ Moore is the kind of receiver that's easy to get the ball to. You know, imagine if you were in a situation where the Bears' #1 receiver all of a sudden became Mike Williams, somebody who doesn't create a lot of natural separation and you have to throw contested passes to. That's not a good recipe when other stuff is unstable. So getting a guy like DJ, I think, gives you a high-volume, high-efficiency receiver that they desperately need. All right, second shot here on 1. We got 4 rounds today, so we will play, as long as we make the cut, 4 rounds on the same course. Just like they do in real life. A little too far away here for a birdie, probably. It's interesting getting to play with all these settings here, because the last time I played the game was a couple days ago. And I had some issues with my PC that I was trying to iron out. And I was talking to Matt 10 a lot that day. And when we were done messing with the PC, we played a round of golf on here. And he wanted me to try out the settings they use on the True Sim Tour. And I've learned a lot playing this game. I think I've gotten a lot better. However, I am by no means prepared for that. So we'll start off with a par. The settings there, like no shot meter, no grid lines, no wind indicator, like all of it's turned off. As a Falcons fan, I'm happy Carolina doesn't have DJ Moore. Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly that bad division just got worse for 2023, even if they're able to take the #1 quarterback. I mean, the Panthers just accepted that You know, their offense might not be as good this year, but they're taking more of a long-term approach, and clearly they have a strong feeling about a specific quarterback. Because where they were drafting, they were likely going to be selecting the 4th quarterback of the draft, and now they're going to take the 1st. All right, uphill. Really got me aiming far here. Is it really that far uphill? Oh, man, not even close. So, trying to start the day here with a couple of pars. So, we're 10 under because of the way the scoring works. But, hey, Tiger's off to a good start. He's already with us at 10 back. So, you know, it's not like a huge head start. It's a head start over much of the field, but if John Rahm and Tiger play well, the thumbstick kind of slipped out from under me there, and I did not get a full swing. I didn't get my max power or anything. Oh, that was rough. Can I get on the green in 2, though? That's the main thing, I hope, here. Ooh, a little fast. Well, we're on the green in 2. Thanks for all your great content. Hope you are doing well. Greetings from Germany. Glad you could make it today. It's early enough. Appreciate that, Zimbo. Always had a lot of viewers from other countries, which has always been cool. I especially like it when it's somebody from like the UK that is like, I didn't know anything about baseball, and now I love baseball. Come on. I mean, if the MLB wants to just grow the sport, why not funnel everybody into the Rockies franchise for me, right? You want to grow the sport? I've grown at least like 5 people with the series. What's going on, Rashad? How you doing? I think they take Richardson. Yeah, I mean, my first instinct when they traded up to 1 was, okay, Bryce Young? Because, I mean, that's a steep move if, like, the intel suggests that Young would go to Houston. Because, I mean, if you move up to 1 and don't take Young, it just means that, you know, that's who they really liked, but could you have gotten a different trade slot? And maybe the whole Bryce Young to Houston thing is more so just the consensus that hasn't ever been based off of any reporting. It's just kind of something we've thought for a long time, and nobody's really, you know, disputed it or challenged it, and it's just kind of the accepted thought. All right, second shot here. I haven't gotten a birdie yet, but this might give us something. You know, it's not a fantastic start here to be relying on so many pars. Winston re-signing with New Orleans. That happens a lot when a guy was just injured, but I'm pretty sure he was healthy for most of last year, right? He just played behind Dalton, which makes it even odder that he's going to stay. I can't imagine Dalton is still under contract right now. I'd have to think that he was on a 1-year deal. Come on, the birdie try. Just a bit outside the cup. We started the day 10 back. We continue to be 10 back, but in first place. Yeah, that leaderboard's going to stay tight. You know, I heard there was going to be like a system like this where it starts you off kind of with a score, and it's an interesting concept. So, is the way that it works that like the points really don't matter at this point, the FedEx Cup points? Is it really just down to whoever wins this event? And the points was just a way to like set up for this? a long-term build. Ooh, yikes. What the heck happened here? I can't do a pitch with these other ones? I can only do a pitch with the 8? Let's see, that's about 5 yards shy there. 15 feet, going uphill. I don't think that's a bad spot to aim for. Still ending up a little bit fast on these. That's pretty doable. We'll get closer there with that roll. Best score at championship wins. Nice and easy. 9-footer. Matt was showing me off this camera, too, that you can use. There you go, Adam. Maybe one of these days I'll remember to take the flag out of the cup as well. Basically, they gave him an ultimatum, agree to restructure or you're getting released. Winston's on a pretty good deal, too, isn't he? It's got to at least be probably more than he'd get on a free agent deal at this point, because I think now Winston kind of finds himself in the same spot Gino did prior to last year, where he's just kind of a one-year backup who might get a, you know, what's good backup money these days? $5 to $9 million? I could be off. I haven't seen the numbers in a little bit. But I think that he's at the Geno Smith stage of his career and needs something similar to happen. Jeez. And why is everything coming out fast? This feels like a good speed. I calibrated, I mean, right before the event. I think I need to do a little more practice right now. See, and now you want to be perfect? I'm telling you, that was the same swing. All right, whatever. The more I practice, the better I think I tend to go here. Yeah. Matt had me messing around with these settings here, and I miss my other option there. What is it, under cameras? Approach and putting cameras. Let me turn that off. Splash shot. So I forget kind of how much these run, but I don't want to overshoot it. Do I have another option here? Like, I know the flop pretty well. I think the flop is probably the shot that I want here. A little bit of a partial shot. All right. Up and on. And now the birdie try. Not bad when you can end up in the bunker and still have a reasonable try at birdie. That's not really a lot of movement there. Gonna aim one cup to the right. Wow. Are you kidding me? Wrapped around and couldn't sink. The underground city at Columbus Circle. I have no clue what you're talking about. I'm in it right now. What? An underground mall? That's an interesting place to watch Adam Cain's biggest round of golf. Beautiful here. Columbus Circle in New York, where Broadway meets 8th Avenue. I also wonder what the wind is going to be like for a 4-event structure. Right now, we get the standstill round. There we go. Drop that one in beautifully. Oh, yeah, we have a rivalry with Xander Schauffele. I probably should have declined that just because I don't care about those replays right now. I've already beaten all the rivals. Just kind of slows you down. We got the gold putter. Nope, just a little bit to the right. It's hard to see there in the shadows, but didn't miss it by much. Still in first place, though, 11 back through 7. Looks like Tiger has fallen under our rival, our true rival, Jon Rahm. Although we do have some history as well with Tiger, so these are the two I've always considered to be the true rivals for Adam Cain, but mostly Jon Rahm. Yeah, can you turn off those replays just like anytime here, because I don't care to see them anymore. And I have like 72 holes of golf to play today, so I'll take all of like the wasted time out the way that I can get. How do you turn those off? Do you know? Pro highlights? Must be that. Rival only. All. Any bowling games out there? Who is the next draft bust to change sports and become a pro bowler? Or maybe a NASCAR or F1 driver? It's an interesting idea to just keep taking players who maybe didn't pan out and just put them in different sports. It's interesting because it allows me to kind of have more fun with the universe we got here. And hey, everybody loves nostalgia. I mean, now that I'm 30, it's like the biggest thing in the world. We're going downhill here. I don't know about you guys, but it's all downhill from here. Taking a little bit off, and already, as soon as it leaves the putter, you know it's not going in. That was a challenging one. Don't boo me. Imagine how many times Tyrone Brightful would spin out as a race car driver, right? What's a sport where spinning is good? Maybe ice dancing or something. 5 wood, huh? So this is an interesting one because I can't get there with an iron. And it's on the front of the green here. And it's a par 3. Like, this is going to be an interesting hole. Hey, Michael, if you're 30, you know what that means. You wake up one day, all of a sudden, you got -2 speed, -3 awareness, strength is down 1, your development might have dropped. There's no escaping. Unless you had Superstar X Factor development, and then it's delayed like a year. Man, how do you drop it on there in a nice, safe way? This is weird. I haven't seen the updates, but I heard about them. I heard they were positive, and I'm super stoked about that, as I will be starting a new franchise on this channel, and I'm really excited to have that going here in around a month's time. 2 months after I turned 30, my lower back started hurting for no reason. See? There's no escaping. Unless you're Tom Brady and on the TB12 system. This is 12 yards shy. Would this be enough space to knock it down is my thing. I need to get up. This is just a very tough shot, and we're going to head to the bunker, it looks like. Maybe miss it. I love to see like 30 pros in a row just attack that very hit, because I really wasn't sure what to do. And now we're trying to splash out of here. Okay, the splash I know isn't supposed to actually run much. That is the shot I've taken the most time on thinking about, and I still screwed it up. We're out of there. I think that's an okay par try. No, just a little bit off to the left. And for Adam, it's going to be the first time bogeying on the day, dropping him to 10 under where we began. Harold Smiley. Harold Smiley. I had him in backbreaker. Uh-oh. Hope the birds are watching out. Yuck. Not a good shot. Can I get through the tree? Are you kidding me? I don't know if I can hit it through the tree. Like, is this tree solid? I just canceled my birthday. Can't get any older that way. That's really smart. Also, to be born on a leap year. You only age once every 4 years. But it has to be February 29th. All right. Some of those trees are just for show, mostly. Yeah, we got out of there just fine. And now come back down the hill. You can keep going. Wow. It really... We're 4 feet away. Expert level golfing out of Adam Cain, as he shotguns an Arnold Palmer on the 11th hole. Gotta hit it into the trees on every hole now. I think that would be a wise strategy. So it's a similar situation now to our last par 3, where again an iron is just not going to do it. But we got a runway to work with at least. Got to play this hill. I don't mind getting a little air under it. This would be 15 yards shy. I think I'm happy with that location. Let me practice it though. I don't think I'm going to like that. Set your wall clocks for daylight savings time. I thought they did away with that, man. I mean, I don't mind it having a little more sunlight in the morning. I do wake up early, but it's like, how much longer are we going to do this? Ooh. A little speedy there. Ooh, way speedy. I don't like this. It was actually pretty steep there at the start of the shot. Oh, that one does go down. However, Jon Rahm has taken over first place, now 11 under. Adam Cain will have to step it up. We are, we're basically par on the day. A lot of fast shots into the bunker, ending up there far too often. Are you showing me a replay? I turned that off. I wake up at 4:30 a.m. for work, so the morning sunlight is nice. Yeah, in general, I like it. I like having more daylight early. It is kind of jarring, too, just depending on where you are. Like, here in Texas, there are so many days where the sun doesn't come out until, like 7 o'clock. And it's, not uncommon for me to wake up at, like, 5 some days, 6:30 others, and I don't know, maybe one of my animals decides I have to be up even earlier. I mean, that happens a couple times a month. I've learned to deal with it. Oh my. Oh, let's go, Adam. Right after his bogey, he comes back and nails it. Tied with Jon Rahm. Thoughts on the Cubs? I gotta take a look at some rosters here. I know they added Cody Bellinger, and I know that he hasn't been Cody Bellinger in a while, but you still gotta think there's a chance he could get back to that. He's got like the most violent swing in the major leagues. I love his swing. It kind of looks like he's going to hurt himself every time he swings the bat, though. I took a little power off. And I think that's good. They added Dansby. Yeah, Dansby Swanson. Signing away a championship team shortstop to be one of their best players. It sounds a little bit like my childhood when they signed Alfonso Soriano. He plays short, right? I'm not remembering that incorrectly. Or maybe he played outfield for them. I don't remember. Nope. Second in outfield? Okay. Soriano was always like, I never liked the Yankees because you're not supposed to like the Yankees, especially as a Twins fan. But I always liked Soriano. I would be extremely devastated if Jefferson got traded. It would not be a good day for your boy. Oh boy, and we're going downhill. If you don't hit the fairway on this one, you're actually losing out on a lot of distance because of this hill. 355 is pretty good. Go look at Alfonso Soriano's 2006 season on the Nationals. One of the most underrated, great seasons of all time. You know I'm always down for a good trip down Baseball Reference. I swear, if I'm fast, I have to end the stream. I can't handle another fast approach that ends up in the bunker. Not in the bunker, we're safe. You know, I have already lived through the Vikings trading away Randy Moss, and even as a young boy when that happened in 2004, I understood it. I understood why they did it. Because that was more of a disgruntlement. Or no, it wasn't 2004. Because '04 was a really good Viking season. Must have been '05. Now I'm trying to remember what years were good. Because Dante was super good in 2001. I want to say 2004 he had like MVP votes. What year did he go to the Raiders? '06? What year did Williamson come out? I don't know. '05? Because wasn't '04 a good year for Dante? Or is that the year he got hurt? Oh, man. But it was then when I learned about, like, all right, when a player doesn't want to be there, you know, these splits are going to happen. And as a fan, you kind of have to understand when there's that kind of a rift. But, like, I was also super naive then. And I felt like every draft, I'm like, every draft has a Randy Moss. Troy Williamson is just this year's. Or, like, you know, a 6th round quarterback is good every year, like a Tom Brady. It took me a while to realize that that is not the case. Ooh, sand is going to save us. Oh. That was a stressful split second. Just getting on there. I'm really trying not to overdo it. But you can't beat gravity at its own game sometimes. That's not enough. The par save. Do I think Jefferson right now is better than Randy Moss? Oh, man. They are very different receivers. But I feel like he's close to being on that level. The thing that's hard when you're comparing anybody to a guy like Randy is Moss is the greatest deep threat receiver the game has ever seen, arguably. And the way he scores is and scored often was in one of the hardest ways to score. Like, long touchdowns like that aren't normal. Jefferson more so is proficient in the intermediate spaces and can really do everything well, but he certainly catches a lot more balls closer to the line of scrimmage. But in terms of, like, impact on an offense, I really think the impact is quite similar. Now, defenses have to prepare differently. But as far as just grading the impact of the two, I do think it's even at this stage. Like, Moss is 3 years in and Jefferson's 3 years in. Jefferson would be a great running back, don't you agree? Honestly, it's hard to know because I think, like, it's easy to discount how important it is to have really good vision. And I don't think I've seen anything to indicate that, like, Jefferson has, like, impeccable field vision with the ball in his hands. The way it's more obvious with a guy like Debo. Yeah, that was ugly swing. Like, I think you still have to see a guy do it to know. Like Cordell Patterson, when the Vikings used to use him as a part-time running back, I felt like it was his best position. And it took a long time before the NFL kind of agreed with me. JJ might be a good back, but he's no Jabril Peppers, right? You're not going to see Jefferson lining up in the slot, kick returner, and running back in the same game. Yep. I love that Jabril Peppers has become such a big thing on this channel. We are tied for the lead right now going into our final hole of round 1. This has been a fun experience. I'm not about to go swimming here on 18. I'm a little concerned that I haven't been keeping the drives straight, but I think that as I play more and more in this event, it's going to get better. I want to compare a few things from round to round. You know, I always end up having a better, second round than first when it comes to just consistently getting my swing down. But it does hurt to not play better in the wind-free round. That's for sure. So this is not a great performance. I mean, we're 2 under right now on the day. We luckily had that 10 under head start. But I'm not totally happy with this performance. All right. Yep, wanted to slow it down there, set us up. Thought if I landed on the green, it might not give me as good of a position. And it ends with a birdie. A perfect birdie. Love all your series, Cain. Makes my day every time I get to watch one of your videos. Thank you for being my favorite entertainer for years. Appreciate that, Gaming with Beast. If y'all haven't seen already, I put out a channel update video yesterday on the main channel where I talked about the upload schedule that I want here on the channels. And I have basically been trying to follow this schedule now for the last month to try it out. I've really enjoyed it. And essentially what's going to be happening, if you didn't already know, I'm posting a video daily, but I'm alternating what channel that video goes on. And that's kind of the base of my upload schedule. So in a typical week, should be 7 pieces of content. This week there was not 7 because I spent 2 days and probably at least 10-12 hours trying to fix a problem on my PC that luckily I did figure out, and now it's running better than I think it ever has. But it did cost me some valuable time, unfortunately. So I 3 days ago, you know, I was doing stuff like I normally do. I was working on the Vikings franchise at the time, and I was recording in the morning, and then I came back later in the day to edit, and my PC was just, something wasn't right. And I couldn't watch videos cleanly. I couldn't it just wasn't running well, and I went to check how my CPU and GPU were handling things, and my GPU was getting maxed out over menial tasks. It was spiking in usage and unable to keep up with a Twitch stream and rendering those frames and stuff, and I couldn't figure it out. And you know, one of the first things I thought to do was to update my graphics card drivers. So I did. So I thought. I didn't realize that when I tried to do that, I I downloaded the drivers, or at least I tried, and the download would fail at the end and not install, and I thought it had installed. So I stopped even thinking about that being the problem. I ripped the GPU out of my computer. I was doing all sorts of things. Come to find out, the drivers didn't correctly install. So I installed them, started running better immediately. Next day, I got more problems. Not as severe. However, I now had a major issue with audio on my computer. And basically, I could not listen to audio. There you go. Good start. I would listen to, a YouTube video or music, and it could be every handful, like 5-10 seconds, sometimes every 30 seconds, like the sound would get all staticky or distorted. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm not a huge computer guy, so I don't know a lot about this stuff. So I wasn't sure if like something on the motherboard was wrong, and that's why my audio and video playback had been weird. I thought that it might be a problem with my mixer, because if I played back audio through other speakers, it was fine. And so I monkeyed around with my mixer and my software, and we are a mile away. That was awful. I thought maybe it was a hardware issue with my mixer. And I tested so many things. And then I decided to go into another group of settings that I hadn't really messed around with. What am I doing? And I found out in my settings there was a power setting on like my PCIe that was set to like maximum power conservation. And I'm like, well, why would I want that? I want performance. So I knocked it down from that maximum like power setting. And immediately the issue went away. And I felt like everything on my PC started running better than it ever has. Faster. And it's been really good ever since. So it took me like 12 hours to do both those things. Next Rockies video. Thank you for asking, because I was working on that just like a couple hours ago. Rockies episode tomorrow. You don't want to miss this one, okay? This is a big one. This is a big episode for a lot of reasons. Tomorrow, main channel, you're going to want to be there. Very excited to put this one up. Anyone else from Austria watching Cain? Of 120 viewers in here, if 2 were from Austria, I'd be a little surprised. But not impossible. Glad our stream today can accommodate so many time zones. That looks good. Yeah, so I learned a couple things about my PC. I had never taken my graphics card out of it before, so I learned how to do that safely. All in all, I didn't lose a lot of time, but at the end of the day, I think my PC is running extremely well right now. We talked about the draft trade from last night. Yeah, we touched on that a little bit. I think that it's an incredible haul for Chicago. And, you see what the cost of picking the 4th quarterback versus the 1st quarterback is. I mean, Carolina really isn't in a position to be picking number 1. They're far too talented to be like the Texans and Bears of last year. So I think the part that hurts the most is just you give up DJ Moore, you give up the best asset you had for that rookie quarterback you're going to ultimately select. Well, it's pretty important as well to have a guy like Taylor Moton and some other support along the offensive line, but they are significantly lacking now when it comes to weapons, and this is not a great... the opportunities for them to really address receiver now are going to be limited because they've given up their first-round pick. I don't know if they have a second-round pick, because I know they traded 61, and that would be late in the second. So I don't know if they have a second-round pick at all. But the free agent class at receiver, I'm not going to do too much of that right now. But I know it's got guys like McCole Hardman, but I don't know that there's a big name for them to chase. Is there even a Christian Kirk for them to chase? I don't know. I forgot about checking out the Alfonso Soriano 2006 season, so I'm doing that now. 1 year in Washington, randomly, was an all-star, had MVP votes. How come it only had 1 year? I don't even remember that. I thought he went straight... Oh, that's right. He went to Texas first. Because I remember Soriano as a Yankee and a Cub. Wow. I totally forgot about the other teams he played for, and I didn't recall the Nationals at all. Yeah, Adam Thielen's available. You don't gotta tell the Viking fan that. I don't think that's the situation Thielen wants to go into. I think that it's going to be Vikings or a top contender. But if his market isn't what he expects, then maybe he has to take something else. But I feel like he'd come back to Minnesota before he goes to Carolina. Like, the worst team I could see Thielen going to would be, like, the Patriots. Actually, he and Belichick have some history. I'm not sure about that. Jacoby Myers would make sense in Carolina. I could see that. I could. Hey, Cain, Cousins is a free agent and Jefferson is a fifth-year option next year. Do you think the Vikings keep Cousins or let him go? I do think they're setting themselves up to go in a different direction next year. And if they are poised to take a step back this year, and it would be, you know, not totally unexpected. I mean, they were a 13-win team this year. They had a lot of luck in doing that. They're going to have a new defensive scheme. They are probably not going to be as good of a team next year. And if they're, like, barely a playoff team or miss, then it's going to be really easy to move on from Cousins, especially if they miss the playoffs entirely. I think that pretty much slams the door on that era. But, you know, the Vikings are in cap hell right now. And one of the ways you can create cap is to extend your quarterback. And I don't know if they're going to do that again. I think it'd be a short-sighted move because I don't think the Vikings have a Super Bowl roster. And if you're going to have a veteran quarterback that isn't elite, you need to put a lot around them. And this year the Vikings are going to have a lot less, I think, around Kirk Cousins. However, the offense should be good. And so the other thing I think about is, you know, especially in the NFC and with 7 playoff spots available, there aren't a lot of strong teams in the conference. If you can just have a really good offense, that can take you pretty far on its own, even with a bad defense. The Vikings didn't have a good defense last year, although they weren't like the worst defense the entire season. They came up big in games against Carolina. They got timely takeaways and sacks in the first, 10 games of the season. But by the end of the year, all their rankings and metrics were very poor. So I do think the Vikings can still be a playoff team as long as the offense is top 10. And if the only thing you're rebuilding is a defense, you're not really a rebuilding team. So their situation is really interesting. I still think that they're, mid-tier, somewhere between like 10 and 14 as far as like team quality at this point without digging into it too far. Love that for me. Vikings are still $7 million over the cap. You guys want to know how bad the Vikings cap situation is? They had Ross Blacklock take a pay cut yesterday. That pay cut was for $600,000. A little over 600. The Vikings made an effort to clear under $700,000 worth of cap space. That is where they are right now. How did that go so far? They released Cam Dantzler. I read somewhere he had performance escalators that actually upped his contract or something like that, and they end up saving $2.5 million by doing that. And Dantzler wasn't going to be a scheme fit for the man coverage and the stuff they do with Brian Flores, so that doesn't shock me. I tried to get some air under it. God, what's going on this hole? This is going to be a double bogey, at least. Yeah, full power putt. So the Vikings need to get younger. They need an impactful draft class. And their first two picks this year are at 23 and 87. That's not good when you're like starting fresh with a defensive scheme. You've got to find another receiver. Like, the Vikings are one of the easier teams to like mock a trade down to in the first round, because they need more picks. There's no reason for them to stay at 23. Can you move down into the 30s and get an extra pick on day 2? Is what I wonder. Because it's what they need to do, really. Come on. We're up there. We're going to hit the flag. Yep, they traded for TJ Hawkinson. That cost them a 2. And the Vikings have already moved on from Adam Thielen and Eric Kendricks. And Zadarius Smith wants to be released. I think Dalvin Cook could be gone. And then, you know, that makes the offense worse. I think that they have to think about a restructure with Harrison Smith. But if I had to guess, of all the aging veterans on the team, Harrison's probably the one they want to stick around the most. Because, while he's not played in this kind of a defense in the NFL that he's about to be in, I still think that they value that veteran presence. And just the way Harrison's always played safety, I think his game ages pretty gracefully. You know, last year wasn't phenomenal for him. He still had some interceptions and stuff, but I think that he can still be a good, maybe not great starter for a little while longer. And as a mentor for some of the younger players they're undoubtedly going to have, that would be nice. They traded for Hawkinson because Irv Smith got hurt and Adam Thielen wasn't as productive as the second threat in the offense. The Hawkinson move, like Hawkinson was one of the most productive tight ends in the league after they traded for him. And I don't think there's any buyer's remorse over that trade. Yeah, that ugly swing right there. Ugh. We're up onto the green. This has been rough. Not again. Dantzler wasn't a scheme fit, and there might be some, you know, he had some issues with Zimmer's coaching staff, and I feel like maybe, maybe they just don't like him. The Eagles don't have a 4, 5, or 6. They have 2 1s, a 2, a 3, and 2 7s. Interesting. But they're also not a team with a ton of holes. They're about to lose a few players probably. You know, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I think he put out like a post the other day and suggests that he's going to be gone. James Bradbury, Javon Hargrave, Miles Sanders. There's going to be some guys to replace. Yeah, the $2 million you save for Dantzler, I think, is worth it. Like, every bit counts. The Vikings are going to be like $800K under the cap by the time we get to week 1. No. I don't know if the Vikings could afford Bradbury. I think the Vikings will be in on a guy like Cam Sutton if he hasn't been re-signed. Is he still available? Cameron Sutton will have familiarity with Brian Flores and has played in the scheme already. So that's the kind of signing I see the Vikings making. I think Bradbury gets a big deal elsewhere. Jamel Dean, I think that's even going to be out of their price range. I think the Vikings have to play more second and third tier free agents. I mean, I don't think Dean's going to get like a massive, massive deal, but I think he'll get more than Sutton. Actually, I do think that Dantzler would fit like a Dan Quinn defense. I think that Dantzler's best in more of a zone heavy, you know, just hug the boundary kind of role. And, you know, he had some good play with the Vikings at times. He's not like a bad player, but I think that things just, you know, they ran their course in Minnesota and now it's, you know, it just happens every year. Marcus Peters? I mean, possibly. I mean, I wanted them to take Marcus Peters over Trey Waynes like 8 years ago. Refresh my memory. Was Peters hurt all last year, or am I thinking the year before? I gotta take something off this guy. We gotta take, much power away from that shot. And Adam Cain right next to it. Saving par here on 12. Greedy Williams. You know, I could see the Vikings being in. You know, like how they traded for Jalen Reagor. Just kind of gave away a 7. You know, taking a chance on a guy with first-round history. I could see them doing something similar, but at the defensive side. When I traded for Noah Igbenogany in my franchise, I'm like, you know, things don't seem to be working out well in Miami. I can see the Vikings 100% making this move. And now they have Brian Flores, who coached him, on the staff. So I don't know what their relationship would be like, but there's history there too if Miami is ready to move on. By the way, John Rahm has taken a very strong lead here in the second round as Adam has been bogeying a little bit more. Yep, Flores, they hired him a couple weeks ago, and I'm really excited about the hire. He's really the guy I wanted and runs the scheme that I wanted. Man, I did not put much behind that. And look where we're going. I thought I threw a good change up there, and we still ended up 44 feet downhill. And Jon Rahm's having a good day in these conditions? I can't see. Where'd I end up? We're doing 4 rounds, and this is the second one. What ultimately made you want to start doing YouTube? When I saw others doing it, I mean, I was really here for the beginning of the YouTube gaming thing. Maybe not the very, very start, but the Call of Duty community was really the first gaming community that I remember on YouTube. And, you know, I was really into that content and stuff, and I finally had the money for the equipment, and I decided to give it a shot. But when I got started, you know, there wasn't like a new big shooter at the time or whatever, and that's what I was interested in. So I started doing sports instead because, I mean, I love football, and I wanted to just give it a try with something I was interested in, and here we are like a dozen years later. You know how many comments I've read lately where it's like, just yesterday I think I read one. Somebody was like, I've been watching you since I was 13 and now I'm 25 and married. Like, how many stages of life does that cover right there? That's a long time to not get sick of the content that I make. This has not gone great. Par save. So we're right back to where we began at 10 under. This has been a bad round. Jon Rahm is 15 back now. So he's going to have probably a pretty good lead on day 3. Yeah. Oh, man. Are you kidding me? If I stick with this, we're going to be in the drink. This is such a hard shot. I'm going to try to put as much air under this as I can so I can hopefully... I have no idea where to even aim this thing. I don't usually have a hybrid for this type of shot. What the heck is that? I guess I was trying to put so much air under it that I let the wind kind of take over there. Oh, no. I should have just aimed, like, center of the green. Jon Rahm's going to have a nice lead over us. If only that could have been my first shot right there. Yeah, this is an ugly round. We got time to fix it, but I'm going to have to play so much better than I have in the first 2 rounds today. This is for bogey. I'm taking a lot off of this one. The hills have been really hurting the score. How many double bogeys is that? 3 doubles, a regular bogey, and 2 birdies is what we got today. Man, this has been like a +7 round. Plus 6 or 7? Is there a cut for this event? It's only 30 competitors. I don't think you have to cut that field. There are 2 more rounds after this. Dropping one of these in would be super nice right now. Oh, can I get a birdie here? I really need a birdie right now. I've had a good time playing this game, though, for the last few months. This is the most I've ever played a golf game. It's only 11 feet, man. How you doing, Bradley? Adam Cain should return to the NFL and start for the Titans. Oh my God. Can you imagine Adam Cain's return? 8 under right now. 7 behind the leader, John Rahm. Oh, I didn't want to come this far to not win it all, man. We got more rounds to play, though, so hopefully the best play is yet to come. Ugly swing. Gotta go uphill now, as opposed to down. You had to know the way this round is going. That was never going in. Day 2 almost over. We got one more on 18. I expect the Vikings to try to beef up the defense with their first pick, but I'm thinking they're going to be trading down from their first pick at 23. I think they have to acquire more picks. They just don't have a lot, and they have so many needs, and I think they'll be definitely working the phones a lot, and we already saw them trade down a lot last year, so now it even makes significantly more sense. Wouldn't it be nice if they got an appropriate haul for Jamison Williams last year? A lot of boards had that as a good value. I felt like that was an awful trade. Still do. They should have gotten a future first-round pick out of it. This is for Eagle. This could be one of the biggest shots of the entire round. Especially after how horrendous this has been. We'll take a birdie. Well, not our best play there. That was one of the, I think, worst rounds in a while. Bijan Robinson behind the Eagles O-line. Sounds like a horror movie. +4 on the day. I want to compare some numbers from round 1 to 2. My fairways went from 64% in round 1 to 85% in round 2. Our greens in regulation, however, dropped from 83% to 61%. We've got to do a better job getting on the green. Proximity to hole, 22.9 feet, 24.3. Yeah. And only 33% one putt, 27% one putt. Gotta do better than that. Three under in round 1, 4 over in round 2. We're halfway through. All right, day 3. It's a new day for Adam Cain, all right? Brand new. If Detroit gets Anthony Richardson, I'm going to cry. However, I think he'll be gone. Oh. You know what, guys? It's going to be a different kind of round. If you have a positive attitude, that can take you so far. That was one of the most serendipitous bounces I've had in my 40 hours playing this game. Drop it in. I'm telling you, you should get WWE 2K23. The universe mode sounds great. I saw a really cool clip on Twitter yesterday of RVD versus Cena with the flaming table and stuff. That caught my attention. Was that ECW, one night stand, some sort of moment deal? I haven't watched much wrestling in a long time, and I really wish I made that shot. I'm angry. Oh my God. Come on, Adam. Resident Evil 4 demo out on PS5. I did see that. I might have to check that out. Resident Evil 4, I don't know if I said 4 or 5. I haven't played many Resident Evil games. Wow. Well, we'll take that one. I still think the Eagles have a lot right going for them, especially, Jalen Hurts breakout this year and their dominance in the trenches. I still think is going to be pretty apparent in 23. So I still think that they'll be an NFC favorite next year, especially because, who else would it be? San Francisco? You can't even name their week 1 quarterback right now. Dallas? Yeah, they're a pretty good team, but they're not as good as Philadelphia. The South? That's 4 teams who deserve to all pick in the top 10. The North? No one's strong enough. Lions, though, getting dangerous, I'll say that. They're going to be such a trendy, everybody this year. Everybody when they do their, mock draft, they want to do a pick no one has to make theirs different, or division winners, they want to pick somebody that didn't win their division last year. Every person on the planet is going to pick the Lions to win the North this year. All right, that's back-to-back birdies. I'm really interested in what the odds end up being for NFC North Division, because I think that there could end up being some value there in the Packers and Vikings. We'll see what the lines end up looking like. Two birdies in a row, and I'm lining up for a third one. Get there. Get there. Come on. I think the Bears haul they got is great for that pick and how far they dropped. Yeah, I think the Bears knocked it out of the park there. I think if you were going to take yourself out of a position to draft an elite level prospect for defense, you need to get a known quantity, a player, not just picks. And they got DJ Moore. And I think that's a situation where you're saying, okay, we are willing to give up on a potential elite difference maker like a Will Anderson because we are getting a player that's already established himself to be, you know, top 10 to 15 receiver, I'd say. And that was one of their weakest positions, and has been. Come on. That looks promising. Drop it in. Come back downhill, man. How are you going to bounce uphill and just rest? Yeah, I'm taking so much off of this. Too far left. Didn't even come close. So the streak ends. But we're 5 back of the lead right now. We got work to do. This is a round where we have to make up ground. We don't have a lot of wind to deal with. This needs to be a round where we can go and get a couple eagles, avoid the bogeys. We got to get within striking distance for round 4. I'd like to be within 3 strokes. You know, getting an eagle here on 6, I think, is really critical. Let's get up there. No. All right. You know what Adam hasn't done today, everybody? He doesn't have a signature Adam Cain chip. Here on 6. Adam Cain flies by it. Ends up on the fringe. Or actually the rough. I tried to take some off of that, but that was too much. Missed opportunity here to not get a stroke back on a par 5. Did the Panthers really need that number 1 pick, though? And that's why I keep thinking about Bryce Young, because they were not going to get him later, by all accounts. And who knows? I mean, it was just the combine. I'm sure they interviewed every quarterback. And, you know, there might have been one interview that blew him away. A little fast. Where's it going to put us then? Back here. With you guys. Watching in the gallery. Everybody moves away. Adam chips. Too much speed. I tried to take something off of that. I wanted that to go up. One of my complaints about this game is that like, the angle sometimes the ball leaves the club is way off of what I expect for the shot that I have. And they try to give you a projected vector, and it doesn't even come close to matching. Uphill from a mile away. Great. Come on, Adam. After all of this, we're still right where we began, at 10 under. Perfect. That should put us in a pretty good spot, I think, on this one. Ooh, good kick. Yeah. Xander, you down by the lake? Are the fish biting? You gotta be kidding me. Ah, 8 behind John Rahm. No. It is so hard to nail your swing in this game. I have some days where it works really well, and then, you know, I've already played how many holes of golf today, and I'm still having trouble with it. And I'm on, like, an easy setting. This is for par. Ooh. Glad you could hang out for a while, Tommy. You have a good day. Sorry, I've been focusing too much on the chat lately as I've been playing kind of poorly. By kind of, I mean very. Well, a bogey doesn't help. Started off the round so hot. Over our last 5, we're 2 over. 10 back of the lead right now. Like, you wouldn't even be thinking about us having a shot at the winner's circle. We only have a round and a half of golf to play. There really can't be any more missed opportunities. We're going to have to hit some unbelievable shots, I think. No. How far away are we? 115? You can't afford to fall too far shy, otherwise you're putting from a mile away. So, just wanted to end up in a safe spot, and I think we did that here for birdie. 10 feet. tough. Appreciate y'all being here for the stream today. It has been fun, although getting frustrating here, as I was hoping to have Adam with a chance to go and win this event, but we're not playing well enough to do that right now. Gotta hit some really incredible shots, I think, to have a chance. That looks pretty good. Pretty cool. Come back down. Why do you gotta rest? Some of these birdies gotta go down. I had to go even further. I feel like I'm already aiming so far one way. John Rahm's now 20 under. What? Wow. I guess I didn't get a good, clean shot there. Your shot has to be so consistent. So consistent, or you get penalized so much. I guess it's part of what makes this game, you know, challenging. Creates a more skill gap. But when it's not working for you, it just feels so frustrating. Yeah, I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to find himself somewhere else, but I'm not really sure who. Got to take on a lot of money. You know what team? I don't know if they could fit it. But the team I would like just, I think would be an interesting option. Kansas City. Got Juju's money off the books. Maybe you could do something with the MVS contract. Is there a way they can make it fit? That's pretty good. I found this course extremely tough to putt on, though. It just feels like everything moves so fast, and it feels like I'm learning how to putt in a different game almost. It doesn't feel like putting in the regular season. I have like zero confidence in any of these putts. How do I do the thumbnails? I use Photoshop, and I've developed a few skills over the years. Certainly not great at it, but I've learned some things. Jump left. Thank you. Yeah, Photoshop's really a must if you want to get good at making thumbnails. This is kind of an ugly spot to end up here. With this hill here and everything, and what you have to hit to get it here. The iron leaves you so shy. Ugh. I think I'm just going to try to aim I want to avoid this hill, hopefully get up there and end up in an okay position. Yeah. I really wasn't sure, like, from where we were there, what else I could have done. It was a really tough spot. Too strong. I took a little bit off that. Can't buy a birdie right now. I will be doing an MLB The Show franchise on this channel, but I'm not sure yet what team. I have a couple in mind, but I have to dig into the rosters more. And, you know, I like looking for a team that needs a lot of help, and hopefully I can find the right fit. I'm still doing my Rockies franchise on the main channel right now, and I will look to be picking a team, obviously, away from the NL West with my next selection. Not really concerned if it's an American League team or a National League team, but I guess I lean American League. Yeah, 13 back of the lead right now. Not going to be the Twins. I've already done a series with Minnesota on the main channel, so I'll be looking for something different. All right, yet another birdie putt for Adam Cain. We began the day with a great streak of birdies, and that didn't last long. These greens aren't nice. "20 holes left to go in the event, and we're down by 13. Doesn't feel good. Happy with that drive. That's hit pretty straight. All right, birdie on 17 now. We're looking at 12 feet away. All the downhill putts have been, like, carrying so far. And so I take a little bit off that one where they're projecting, and it makes it halfway to the hole. Because, like, the default shot they're giving me in terms of putt power has led me astray so many times. And we're going downhill there, so I take something off of it. And we find the slowest spot, apparently. Come on, Adam. Got to do something here, right? Hole 18? Yeah, this is a tricky one. I gotta go for a Hail Mary, though. Like, I have to try and do something wild. Don't I? I've gotta try. We end up fast. So it'll be a very long eagle putt here. Eagles for a fantasy draft mini-series? I mean, I'll pretty much pick whatever team for a mini-series like that, because it really doesn't, not truly that team, just allows me to have different uniforms if we get to any games. Come on. Come on. And we know the way I've been playing today, this birdie ain't automatic from 8 feet out. I'm telling you, I've never felt worse putting in this game than today. So, we had a good first round in comparison. Second round was terrible. This round, less bogey issues, but about a dozen failed birdie tries. And 14 back of the lead. So, doesn't look like the series is going to end the way I wanted to. And I felt good when our last events, like, we won one of them. Got one more. Yeah, I'd like to do a fantasy draft soon. So we got a little time before MLB comes out. And between now and then, I want to wrap up Lions, which has one more year to go. And then continue on with the Vikings, and we'll see how that goes, and if we do have, like, a lot more series to do, or not so much. And then, I think as far as, like, Madden rebuilds until then, I want to do something that won't take as much time, even as the Lions. So, I think a fantasy draft rebuild on something, and then I'd also like to revisit maybe a couple old baseball games, if there's some interest in that. If I were to do that, what games would you guys like to see? If I just do like one-off, you know, revisiting MLB Slugfest or, you know, an old version of the show. Is it really interesting to go back to an old version of the show? I mean, you got old rosters and everything. That could be kind of interesting. MVP 05, that is the one everybody loves, of course. Do I remember Steven Jackson? Of course I remember Steven Jackson for the Rams. If my memory serves me correctly, he never played anywhere else, which is uncommon for a running back. Too far. Anywhere but the Rams. MLB 06, the show would be fun. That was the first one. Yeah, that only came out, I think, on PS2. I don't know if it came out on PSP. The oldest one, I think, on PS3 is 07. Does Sean Alexander also stay with one team? I thought of him when I was thinking about other running backs who stay with one team. He might have only played for the Seahawks. I don't know if there was ever a random year elsewhere. I don't remember one, though. He played... Oh, he did go to the Falcons. That's right. Okay, that was a very end. That's easy to forget. Revisit Super Mega Baseball. I love Super Mega Baseball, and I thought that they were going to be dropping a game this year, but it's almost baseball season, and we've heard nothing from EA. EA bought Metalhead, who makes the Super Mega Baseball games, and I don't know what they're working on. To me, it always made sense for them to work on an MLB game if they're going to be picked up by EA, but I don't have a clue. But I want to build up a little hype for baseball. I mean, I don't do a lot of baseball content over here, but I want to kind of get people ready for the new show series that I'm going to be doing. So I'd like to do a little baseball content between now and then. I hit a birdie finally. I feel good about that. I'm only 13 back. I just have to, like, eagle everything from here on out. Remember when I wanted to be 3 back to the lead after that 3rd round and I'm 13? Wonder how I'll play in this final round. There isn't going to be a lot of pressure because I've played too poorly to have any pressure at this point. I'm not going to finish last, I don't think, so there's not even that worry. Revisit MLB The Show 16. What was special about that game? And is there any old MLB The Show game that has like an interesting like side mode I could play around with? Like MVP 05 had that one mode where it was like you'd try to hit the ball and there were like different targets on the field and you'd get points for like hitting moving vehicles or hitting a home run in certain areas. Did the show ever have anything like that? There's also the Bigs and the Bigs 2. I played the Bigs last year for a video. Yeah, there's Home Run Derby. I like Home Run Derby on occasion. There's only so much you can do in baseball, too. But just that kind of day. The original Backyard Baseball. Yeah, if I can find a way to get that running, I haven't played that game in 20 years. Oh, the air hockey in NFL 2K5 is totally functional. That's awesome. MVP college baseball. Yeah, I've been interested in that game actually. Maybe at some point I'd even try a series on it because I think like a college rebuild on baseball with that shorter season would actually be really interesting. Oh, we're in the neighborhood. Hey, a birdie we can handle. Kalispell could have a nice stadium in the mountains. Ooh. You know, I tried doing Kalispell basketball years ago, but College Hoops 2K8 actually overwhelmed me quite a bit. The gameplay to me was quite hard. I'm not good at basketball games at all. And then, like, the menus, I did not like 2K's UI at the time. So many misclicks. And then the recruiting I found to be very difficult. So I'd need a crash course to play that game. But I think Kalispell baseball, that's a possibility at some point. we'll see how the show does. You know, I'm not used to posting baseball over here, but I'd love to get into it more. I love baseball. I actually know it too. Enough. No. How can you possibly be like 2 inches off of so many putts? Ever thought about FIFA? I have. I have a soccer game in my collection now. You want to see what I got? So, I've been kind of collecting games here for the last year and a half or so. And one of my favorite consoles to collect for has been the Xbox 360. Because it just feels like a very nostalgic console for me. Sorry, I got something in my throat here. And I want to get like the old classic sports games for it. And I got a game. I haven't played it yet. I got it sealed. I think I got it for like $3 plus shipping. Any of you ever play UEFA Euro 2008 on the Xbox 360? From what Matt 10 was telling me, this is a game where you play as like the national teams in Europe. There must be some sort of tournament I'm not all that familiar with. But it's supposed to be a pretty good game. So I thought that was a worthy addition to the Xbox 360 collection. And check this out. So this was sealed when I got it. And I only opened it because the disc was loose inside. But this game was previously owned by an EA developer or something of the nature because it came with this sticker on it. I'm guessing the EA experience is probably an in-studio store. And if you can't read that, it basically says that it's not for resale and stuff like that. So yeah, and that wasn't even necessarily something I got for content. I just, you know, for a couple bucks, if I screw around with it a couple times, I'll probably be pretty happy, you know? So, I wanted to get that to play around with. And then I want to get the launch games, the first, like, sports games there on the console, too. So, I want to get, like, NBA 2K6, MLB 2K6, and check those out a little bit. I have Madden 06. I've had that for a while. I actually popped it in to play it the other day and see what it was all about. And there are actually some cool things in it. Not a lot, because it was, you know, inherently a very bad game for the franchise right here. Because this was them moving too quickly into next generation. Leaving behind so many franchise features and better gameplay on the PlayStation 2. And it's part of why we've been in this position, you know. As bad as like the last handful of years have been for Madden, the truly damaging years to me were the PS3 and Xbox 360 games. Because Madden, when they got the exclusive license, they went on complete cruise control. And from like Madden 06 on next gen until Madden 11, it really was a roster update. It really was not improving very much at all. I think that we get better improvement out of Madden now than we did in the PS3 360 era. So we did lose things from 12 to 13. Wow, made a putt. So, Madden has refreshed franchise a couple times. The primary one was 06 on next gen, which made it a bare bones mode. And then they slowly added some more features, and there was some cool stuff like the scouting reports and whatnot we messed around with back on Madden '09. And they had, create a team. You could do a few cool things in franchise even as of Madden 12. And now, you haven't been able to make your own team since Madden 12, 10 years ago. You can make custom teams and take them into franchise, and you can't do that anymore. And it's been 10 years since you could. You used, and I did this a couple times in the Vikings franchise on Madden 12, you could watch games played by the CPU. How awesome would it be to watch the Super Bowl in years that we don't make it? And you can't watch CPU games in franchise. Haven't been able to, I think, since Madden 12. Madden 12 is one of my favorite Maddens. And it's the last time a lot of key things were in the game. Connected Careers was a terrible idea. Merging the two modes and losing features in the process was not worth it. And since then, what has EA done with the career mode elements of Madden? We have a crappy story mode every year now. And there's no depth to the gameplay or the, you still can't even match what Road to Glory brought to the table, which was a fun progression system with coach trust that allowed you to work from the bottom of the depth chart into being a campus legend. And that included the ability to, part of what made Road to Glory great, and you can't convince me that this isn't true, is that you didn't get to pick your plays. You could unlock the ability to pick some plays, but you wouldn't just go up there and pick halfback dive every play for your running back. You had to block sometimes. You had to deal with plays that wouldn't go your way. And that made the mode better. More freedom doesn't mean better game design. Just because you can, being able to pick the play every time on paper sounds good. And for most genres, giving the player control is a good thing. But in sports games, it's a different world. That did not make the game better, and it never has. You could also get hurt in Road to Glory. Yes, you could. They are necessary evils to having a complete experience, because playing a sports game the way you would play Call of Duty, where you just run through a camp, if you're playing a single player game of Call of Duty, never dying, running through it on an easy difficulty, that is a terrible way to play a sports game. You need challenge, and you need to have pressure. You need the things that make sports great. Or you have a stale experience that no one is going to stick with. If they had a career mode in Madden that echoed Road to Glory with an intuitive way to rise up the depth chart, with a way to earn perks the more that you play, the ability to maybe occasionally call plays, and to echo the campus legend idea of that mode. And the other thing that was cool too in Road to Glory that I don't even think is super necessary, but it was fun, was you would earn medals for achieving different goals. And it would keep track of how many times you ran for 100 yards, and you'd get points for that. Or how many games you had, multiple touchdowns. And that all contributed to your campus legends score. And they had leaderboards. So every game offered a chance for you to improve your standing and to earn more awards and to get closer to your next coach trust. It had actual progression. Madden's is more so set up for you to kind of be I know you can be an undrafted player, but the progression to getting better isn't worth it. It's not fun. It's really set up for you to just go to your team and, do whatever you want. There's not really a progression loop. Upgrading your player is about it. They made practice matter in Road to Glory, and the better you practice, the more likely you'd get to rise up the depth chart or just that natural coach trust progression. And you had position battles as well. They'd make it an event when you have a chance to rise up the depth chart a slot. All the while, I've actually had a pretty good round here. We don't have a single bogey yet. We're actually coming up on the end here soon, as I've been ranting about Madden. The best thing about this game, actually one of the only good things about this game, is the cover's pretty good. But the only thing that EA cared about was right there. Exclusive NFL license. That way they could develop in cruise control for a while. I don't know if I'll get to 2K on this cycle. I doubt it at this point. I'm trying to take something off these chips, and it's just not going how I wanted to today. Bang. The best I've played all day is when I've been complaining about, like, Superstar mode in Madden. And it's not just... I'm not done. It's not just that the mode isn't good. It's that the mode takes resources that are going to... just empty calories part of the game. Like, it does not matter. I refuse to believe that Superstar mode impacts sales in any meaningful way. It is empty calories. Dump all those resources into franchise or presentation or something else. Oh, yikes. Okay, that's the worst shot of the round. Well, we don't have a bogey in this round, but that might be changing right here. For the par save, looking left. What I think would be good for Madden Superstar is just to copy what you had in Road to Glory, NFL it up a little bit, and just mimic that player progression or that career progression. It wasn't just making your player better. It was unlocking, you know, becoming the starter, being able to audible on, you know, 5 plays a game or call your own play. I honestly think that would make a big difference and would at least make a much more playable mode. And make it so, you know, there's a chance for you to get hurt. Make it so you can be traded. I guess you can demand a trade, I think, in the game. I think that's a thing you're able to do. But you have to demand it. It's not just going to happen organically. And how about a true, like, NFL draft presentation? And, like, now in the game, they also... Road to Glory also, as we're here on hole 18. I'll come back to this. This is the final hole. Didn't realize it was already 18. Man. I don't feel ready to say goodbye, Adam, but It looks like that is the season. Well, gave it our best. It wasn't enough today. Just really did not putt well. I'll have to check my full event stats there, but you know, that's how Adam Cain's rookie season goes. I think we had a 6th place finish. Disappointing. I wanted first. I wanted a shot. I wanted to be fighting for it on the final day. We finished 12 back of the lead. 6th place. 6 out of 30. For Adam, it's still a great year. We got smoked. But one other thing Road to Glory did much better than Madden was they gave you a proper intro. You'd play the high school playoffs and create your your prospect stock. In Madden, you choose if you want to be an early round guy, mid round, or late. You don't go through. Well, I guess like in their story mode, they have the college football playoff, but it's really only, I guess if you're starting from scratch and you want to participate in that mode, you can. But what if you don't care about the story and you just want to play a few games that allow you to set your draft stock? Is that really doable in Madden? Or do you have to go through the story aspect and then go all the way through with it? Adam Cain finished 6th. I didn't play well this week, and I'm disappointed in myself. Yeah, that's how I feel. John Rahm wins it. So I guess it already starts to put you in the new season. I kind of wanted to see my stats from last year, and I think I still can. Oh, man. I wanted to see the stats from that event too, but I must have gone too far. Adam Cain played 27 events in this season. I guess my camera's in the way. I should move it. Had the most FedEx Cup points and made $17 million along the way. 6 total victories, just not when it mattered the most. 20 top 10s. 23 top 20s. And then no holes in one, no albatross. 17 eagles. Not that many. None today. 215 birdies. 345 pars, 78 bogeys, 11 doubles, and we saw a few of those today. 1 triple. Longest drive in almost 400 yards. Longest scoring shot, 57.1 yards. Longest scoring putt was from 41.1 feet. We had almost 1,000 putts this year. Or what's that supporting stats? I had 515 drives, 998 putts, 80% of our fairways were hit, 70 greens in regulation, rough tendency, 15%, bunker tendency, 3.6, other, that's where you hit the water, I'm pretty sure, on a drive. Putts per hole. For a while, it was at 1.7. I'm happy to get it down to 1.5, but today was just not a good putting day, and putts were going to make or break your round on this course. I got to really improve my medium putt accuracy, don't I? But hey, I had a really good time with this series. There were some really fun moments, and now I got a grasp on playing golf. And, you know, I'm sure I'll play golf again on the channel, but I don't know when. I know EA has a game coming out, and I'll probably try it with the EA Play trial. and at least see it. But it also depends if I'm busy when that drops, because I know I'm going to be all into baseball here pretty soon, and I want to start gearing up for that very, very shortly. Madden story mode. The other quarterback who followed you to college out of spite has major heart issues, is getting the start, convert to running back, or go enter the draft. Is that the one scripted story? I get to go to Twins games in April, so I'm so ready. That sounds nice. Oh, I hope the snow's melted by then. What's my favorite sport? Football. For me, it goes football and then baseball. And really, my options are open for number 3. Who wants to be the third? You know, basketball, I'm not passionate about it, but I like basketball. Soccer, I've just barely ever followed it, but I really enjoyed watching the World Cup this past year. Hockey, I've never really gotten into. There are other sports out there, but it's really football and baseball far and away above everything. Golf, I mean, yeah, I'm starting to really enjoy like the game more, and maybe this summer I'll actually get out at the course for the first time. UFC, I haven't watched a UFC fight in a very long time. I don't see me ever being like way into it. Did you get my tweet about the you won a prize issue returning? If you sent it today, David, I haven't seen. Yeah, sometimes you'll see some scammers in the comments that are like pretending to be me, telling you to add them on Telegram. I don't even know what Telegram is, but it's like a thing where they're making accounts and putting comments out there to try to get you to message them and say you won a prize and they want to get your information. That's not me. I would never reach out that way. I don't even know what Telegram is. So what I typically do is all their comments are always worded with very odd sentences and phrasing. So I pick out some of those phrases that they use and I put them into my comment block list on both channels so that nobody can enter that string of words together. And I know that nobody would be doing it otherwise. Like, to make something up to sound like them, it would be like, you have achieved the winning spot for the prize. Please add me on Telegram, you know? And so there's an easy sentence there that I can copy and paste into the block list. So whenever I see that, I block the account and try to stop the messages from happening. But as far as Adam Cain goes, everybody, I think that we found that he's a much better golfer than he is quarterback. And we'll see what's next. But that's going to be a wrap here in the Adam Cain My Career series. Really had a good time with it. That's more golf than I've ever played, ever in a game. And I'll be back at some point. And maybe Adam will be as well. But that's going to be it for today, everybody. I appreciate all of your support throughout this series. And I'm excited to move on to the next stuff I have in mind. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. And I'll see you all next time.